So as you can tell, I've made my way down into an open pit mine. And there's the bottom of the pit, not too far below me. So what am I doing here? I'm looking for tunnels that did not get obliterated when this open pit was dug back in the 1920s or 1930s. There used to be a gold mine here with underground tunnels, but when they dug this open pit, a lot of those tunnels got destroyed. Happens all the time. So I'm going to go down there into the pit and see if I can find some tunnels that are still open that got bisected by this huge open pit mine. Okay, I'm pretty much down to the bottom of the pit here in front of me, and you can see over there in the wall of the pit what looks like a stope on an angle. You can see some stalls there, some timbers for support. So here's a closer look at that open stope, what used to be an underground stope. But the open pit that you see right here in front of me is what turned that into an open stope. Used to be a tunnel going across here, and maybe more stopage as well. But anyway, I'm going to try to get up there and check it out. A lot of bird droppings, so there might be some barn owls living in here, or maybe some other types of birds. So not sure how far I'll be able to get. So check out this abandoned mine entrance. It's on an angle. You're looking straight in, and it's a stope, an open stope, and we're going to go in right over these boulders and check it out. I don't think I've ever entered an abandoned mine this way. Usually I'm walking through a tunnel entrance, you know, that's horizontal, but this is definitely a stope. Okay, so that's the entry tunnel. I just got inside the entrance, inside this stope. It goes up there. You can see more stalls, and then the entrance we came in is right behind me. That's the slit that I crawled through. So we'll continue into this mine and see where it goes. A lot of rockfall here at this opening, and you can see how fractured the back is. Miners refer to the ceiling as the back. So there's another mining term for you. And the sides, they call it the ribs. So, like I said, this was probably a tunnel that was here before that open pit was dug out there. And so let's continue down here and see what's in store. I'm surprised we haven't seen any big birds in here. There is a lot of bird droppings at the entrance to this stope. Okay, check this out. Here in the rib or the tunnel wall, you can see the vein of, I want to say that's quartz they were following. Right there, you can see it. So it goes back there. See that where my light is? Right there. So that was the vein that this tunnel was dug on, and then when they found a body of ore above the vein, they made those stopes. And the stope is the cavern or void that remains after a body of ore has been removed. So I hope that all makes sense. So it looks like the tunnel is bending here to the left. Wow, this keeps going. Let's go check it out. Old piece of metal there. And another retaining wall. Someone I noticed drew some arrows. There was an arrow at the entrance pointing in, and then one pointing down towards this tunnel. So there's another arrow, but I'm not sure where that goes. Oh wow, look at that up there. There's like a, see that? There's like a fence. Let me try to zoom in. My camera sometimes doesn't want to focus properly when I'm zooming in, so we'll see if it fixed itself. I think it did. So check that out. There's like a homemade fence there. Oh, that fence has chicken wire on it. I can see it from here. That might be there might be a large pit there. That's why they fenced that off with chicken wire. But another arrow pointing up. Well, we'll take the main tunnel this way and see where this takes us. So all this rubble, I'm sure when they blasted the open pit mine back in the 1920s or 1930s, it caused a lot of, fracturing and collapse in these tunnels. So a lot of this rockfall probably is because of all of that when they were doing the open pit mine decades ago. Okay, there's another look up into that slope to the right. Another retaining wall. But we'll keep going down this way. So it looks like, yeah, more stalls. They call those support timbers stalls. It's kind of a funny word, but I guess that's what they call those. And you can see them going all the way up there. But we're going to stick to the main tunnel, which makes a hard right turn here, it looks like. Looks like some dynamite box fragments over there, I think. And then here's this hard turn to the right. And yeah, it just keeps going. So another shot up into the stopes that are above this level. You see more stalls up there. So I guess when they dug the open pit mine, they were going after that body of ore that was probably still there, because these old-time miners, they didn't have the technology or the equipment like we have today to get all this, to get all the ore out. So a modern company comes along sometime later and digs an open pit. I think I misspoke. I said this open pit was dug in the 1920s. It was probably dug later than that. But the actual mine, these tunnels, were probably dug around the turn of the 20th century. So, not sure why there's a pile here of backfill, but we'll have to get over this. Okay, looking down there, I think it's collapsed or backfilled. I see some wooden timbers there at the top of the arch, but I don't think we can go any further. I'll go check it out. Well, something happened here. I don't think this is passable. So that looks like maybe one of those retaining walls, and it may have collapsed from higher up in the stope and fallen all the way down here and landed on these stalls that are holding it up. I don't know, but it's definitely, there's no way through. And so something happened here quite a while ago and blocked this off. So here's looking back at what we just came through. Let's head back that way and see if we can follow one of those arrows up into the stope. So making my way back through the tunnel, some old tin sheet metal just left here in the tunnel. So up here near the entrance, there was some arrows pointing up into the stopes that are now to my left and above me. So right here you see some stacked rocks. Miners called that gobbing when they would stack the rocks like this, the waste rock. it was easier to stack it inside the mine than haul it out. That's looking down the tunnel and then up into the stopes. There's an old piece of stovepipe just laying here on the tunnel floor. And we are going to continue back the way we came. Not sure what these X's mean on the walls. Probably done by a survey team a long time ago. There's one right here across from it. Must mean something, but I don't know. Okay, here's another access point to where that homemade chicken wire fence is. I might try to go up here and see what's up there. This is as far up as I'm going to go. You can see the chicken wire there. It's only in one section. And there's just a lot of loose rubble here next to me. And I'm kind of sitting on the very edge of it here. And this could give way at any time. And it's getting kind of steep. And it looks like you can't stand up. You can't stand up in that stope. The ceiling's too low, the back. So it's kind of a dead end. I mean, it leads into the stope, but it's not tall enough. And I've already come up. Here's looking down. Kind of came up kind of steep here. That's looking back down to the tunnel. So I got to get back down here without all this rubble on this side coming loose. But yeah, there's not much up there, unfortunately. But just a lot of stalls and that chicken wire and a stope on an incline. I can see how that rock there on the rib on the side of the tunnel is delaminating. See that? Very fractured. Well, we're back at the entrance. I don't think there's no other access point into the stopes, just that one. So there's how we're going to make our escape. I'm going to go up this smooth fault line here and go up and then around that way instead of climbing over all these boulders and stuff. That's how I came in. And one last look up into the collapsing stope.